We're at Acadiana Center for the Arts in Lafayette, Louisiana, and this exhibition is called Poetics of Selfhood, or Poétique de l'identité, and it is an exhibition of 5 Francophone Creole artists who utilize their artwork to sort of express some form of Creolité, is what we say, in a way of affirming a Creole identity. One artist, Miss Rebecca Henry, is here locally. She is born and raised to a sharecropping family in Opelousas, Louisiana, and her paintings sort of tell these different stories from her own experiences throughout her lifetime. She's 81 years old now, you know, you've got 81 years of various memories of living in Louisiana through Jim Crow law, civil rights, and those kind of things up till today. And she teaches about folk healing and whatnot. And it's a very distinct sort of Creole experience of this locale in Louisiana. And then we have behind us Gladys Gambi. Gladys is originally from Fort-de-France, Martinique, and her work is much about the feminine body, the sort of feminine Creole identity, in a way layering feminine body and landscape on top of each other, in a way of expressing this kind of mother nature you can think of. Then you have Modou, Jiang, Yasin, who is originally from Saint Louis, Senegal, and he's a Senegalese artist living in Chicago. And his work speaks to the French colonial architecture that he found here in New Orleans, as well as the French colonial architecture in his hometown of Saint Louis, Senegal. They're very similar. You could superimpose one building on top of another and hardly tell the difference between the two in Saint Louis, Senegal, and New Orleans. So he really kind of connected with those things when visiting Louisiana 2 or 3 years ago. And so he's making these sort of paintings that call to mind French colonial architecture, modernism, the history of painting, and the history of sort of African heritage in the sort of modern sense. And then we've got Jeremy Pam, who is an artist from Fort-de-France, Martinique, and his work is really about existing in 2 different worlds, that of the old world, old France, Paris, as well as old Africa, and the New World, the Caribbean, where he's from. And this video that we are showcasing in this exhibition is one in which a character sort of builds this armor, this handmade mask, handmade implements that turn his world around him into a familiar world. And in a sense, these characters are sort of trying to build a new African republic, a new Afrofuturism in which one can invite more than just, you know, kind of traditional identities. So it's opening up a world to many contemporary African identities, African Creole identities. And the last but not least is Miss Tabitha Razer, and she's from French Guiana, and her work really is about contemporary networking and ancient wisdom, and how they are in some sense similar or at odds in the same sense, as well as this sort of black feminism, Creole feminism, these kind of mother goddess characters that she's created, and kind of looking into another kind of Creole Afrofuturism through those works. So if anybody wants to visit this particular exhibition, it will be here at Acadiana Center for the Arts until January 14th. And then beyond that, it will be traveling to Martinique, as well as Côte d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast in Africa, Senegal, Dakar, Senegal, as well as Marseille, France, at some point in the future. So, and you can follow Acadiana Center for the Arts.org for all those details.